Alrighty.
Okay, good evening, and thank you all for joining us this evening. This is the second citizen participation meeting for the Community Development and Housing Department. My name is Thanina Wilson, and I am the interim director for the City of High Point's Community Development and Housing Department. And we do have other staff members on the call with us this evening. We have Michelle McNair, who is our Community Resource Manager. April Jones, she is our administrative coordinator. And I'm not sure, I think, do I have another? And Kaisha Hicks, she is our administrative specialist. And so as we are going through the presentation this evening, staff will be monitoring the chat. So if you have any comments or questions that you would like to enter into the chat, they can let me know that those questions or comments are there and we can address those. But we do appreciate you again being here with us this evening. So we will go ahead and get started. Okay, the meeting outline this evening will be basically just to go through our action plan. This is for our annual action plan. And so first we will cover strengthening neighborhoods, the action plan overview, current activities that we have underway and how we make a difference in the community. I will go through our action plan schedule, and then we will have a discussion period. And at that time, when we actually go into discussion, if you would like to actually make comments, you can be brought into the meeting to make those comments or ask questions. So we will certainly give you that opportunity as well. The goal of community development is to strengthen neighborhoods. And how we do that is by providing decent, affordable housing for low and moderate income families. We promote community and economic development. We assist with the provision of services for homeless populations and also strategic code enforcement. Some of the activities that we undertake include the Core City Homebuyer Incentive Program. We have a down payment assistance program as well. Through code enforcement, which is either complaint driven or proactive strategic code enforcement. We undertake an event called Operation Inasmuch, and I will talk about each of these a little bit more in depth as we go throughout the presentation. We also provide technical assistance to our neighborhood associations. We have public service grants. We administer and implement the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. We provide emergency repairs and housing rehabilitation, single-family housing development, multifamily housing development, and we also support community gardens. For the program year 2022 and 2023, this will be the third year of our 5-year consolidated plan. And the consolidated plan is basically an outline, and it is a strategic plan on activities that we will undertake to identify priority needs within our communities, those priority needs that have been identified. And we will actually use our federal, state, and local resources to address those priority needs. They have been identified as affordable housing construction, to expand homeownership opportunities, decrease homelessness, code enforcement and neighborhood cleanup, core city revitalization, job training and employment assistance, public services, and fair housing education and awareness. Here you have the current income limits for our programs. All of the programs that we administer do have guidelines based on the funding source. And because we do administer primarily federal and state programs, there are certain income guidelines that go along with these programs. The Core City Incentive Program, there are no income guidelines for that particular program. And I will talk about that just a little bit more in the presentation. But you can see that the current household income for a family of four, the area median income within our community is $66,700. And that is based on the area median income for a family of four. You will also see that we have fair market rents identified. These figures are actually published through the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD. And we know that right now, the way that the housing market is, that rents have tremendously increased. There is a lack of affordable housing. So we are not sure what these figures may look like. They are issued annually, generally around the May or June timeframe each year. And so we are sort of anxious to see if the current market conditions will have any effect, especially on these fair market rents. Through our annual funding sources, we do provide many programs. And the funding sources that we receive, the federal funding includes the CDBG program, which provides funding to develop viable communities by providing decent housing, a suitable living environment, and opportunities to expand economic opportunities, principally for low and moderate income persons. The HOME program is also a federal program that primarily focuses on housing activities. And through the use of those funds, we can build, buy, and or rehabilitate affordable housing for rent or for home ownership. And we provide direct rental assistance to low-income individuals. We also receive local funds through the city, and we have the Core City Redevelopment Fund. With those funds, we undertake Operation Inasmuch. We implement the Core City Homebuyer Incentive Program, and we also provide infill development opportunities. We do have lots or vacant lots that are scattered site throughout the city. And so through that infill development, that is how those lots are actually acquired, maintained. And in some cases, we are looking at doing some new construction and making affordable housing opportunities available. We also receive state funding through the Urgent Repair Program and the Construction Training Partnership Program. These are urgent repairs for vulnerable or extremely low income households. And we're talking about those folks from the chart earlier. You could see that there were columns for those that are at 30% and 50% of the area median income. So those are the populations that we are targeting, as well as elderly, those that are disabled, or families that have a large number within their household. And through the construction training program, that is a job skills training program that we partner with High Point Community Against Violence and the North Carolina Home Builders Association to provide carpentry training and construction skills for low-income individuals. For the upcoming program year, we are estimating that our total projected budget will be $2,630,219. Now, I will say that we have not received our annual allocations yet. So these are projections and estimates based on our current budget. So we are not sure exactly what the funding will be, but we do believe that the funding will be very close to what our current budget looks like. And so with the Community Development Block Grant, we're looking at $1,050,000. The Home Investment Partnership Program, or HOME, that's $570,000. State funding through the North Carolina Housing Finance Agency, $140,000. The Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, which is funding through the IRS, $7,000, and then support from the general fund in the amount of $863,219. Some of the affordable housing programs that we anticipate undertaking include our emergency repair, urgent repair program. We are allocating $171,115 to that program. Operation Inasmuch, $200,000. And Operation Inasmuch is a single day event where we do provide housing repairs to homeowners. And then we have Chodo funding. Chodos are nonprofit organizations that have been developed, have been designated as community housing development organizations. And we work with Habitat for Humanity and Community Housing Solutions in Greensboro to undertake those programs. And they are constructing affordable single family housing. And we have allocated $413,300 to that activity. And then we have home buyer assistance and the IDA program, $237,500. Infill housing development, $45,000. The construction training partnership program, $130,000. Core city activities, $27,500. And then we also have a loan through the Section 108 Guaranteed Loan Program. We have allocated $181,000 for that debt service, and that was to develop a multifamily affordable housing for rent. And then program delivery cost of $461,265. For the community and neighborhood development program, the uses that we have identified are for public service grants, $70,000. For community capacity building, $227,018. And for the VITA program, the $7,000. And these are programs that we provide to our nonprofit agencies to carry out certain activities within the community, as well as the community capacity building is where our staff actually works with neighborhood associations to provide technical assistance and help them in facilitating activities within their communities. Program administration, we have a total of $459,521 from all sources projected for program administration. And as I've mentioned, we do capacity building in the various neighborhoods. You can see here the 10 neighborhoods that were initially identified in the core city. And through community capacity building, again, we provide the public service grants, community-based initiatives, the neighborhood association technical assistance, homeless assistance initiatives, and the VITA program. And then we have core city redevelopment, which includes comprehensive code enforcement, which is minimum housing and public nuisance abatement, infill housing development, the core city homebuyer incentive program, and we also undertake acquisition, demolition, and blight removal. The Community and Neighborhood Development Division, they also work with the Neighborhood Leaders Council. This was started in 2006 to help neighborhoods come together to improve their communities. And the leaders meet once a month, which is on the fourth Monday of each month. And in many cases, the neighborhoods have identified certain information or issues that they want to get more information on. And so staff will work to bring in speakers and presenters to actually update the neighborhoods and the community leaders so that they can then go back and provide information to their individual groups and communities. These here, you can see these are the 10 neighborhoods that were initially identified. And we have expanded the neighborhood associations to include the London Woods Neighborhood Association, as well as, Michelle, you may be able to tell me, it's the Alex Haley Memorial.
Haley Historical Association, Neighborhood Association.
Thank you, I appreciate that. We also received community development block grant funds through the CARES Act. Now, these funds came in a previous program year, in a prior program year. And we just wanted to give you an idea of the way that these funds have been allocated and expended. We received a total of $1,141,357 through the CARES Act. And these funds were to be used to prevent, prepare for, and respond to the coronavirus pandemic. So currently we have $628,952.80 of that funding under contract. And we have expended 64% of those funds through the end of February. But we also have funds in the amount of $425,801 that was approved or allocated for a public facility activity. Now, this is an activity that has not yet been identified, but what we do hope is that we will be able to use those funds to potentially support homeless activities or a facility that actually provides services to the homeless population. But again, that activity has not been identified, but we do want to undertake an activity that will have some long-term impact within the community. And this is just an idea of some of the community partners that we work with. We, of course, always say that we could not do the work that we do by ourselves, and it does take partnerships and collaborations in order for our programs to be implemented and to be successful. So we're very thankful to our community partners who work with us in carrying out the various activities. For the VITA program, this is the 2020 was the 15th year that we have undertaken that program. And VITA is in full swing right now, of course, until April the 18th. And the VITA program, it is tax service preparation for individuals whose households do not exceed $57,000. And the tax preparation is free. It's free of charge. And so we have volunteers, we have trained volunteers and coordinators that actually oversee. We have about 6 sites this year, Michelle?
We have 8 sites.
8 sites, sorry. So we have 8 sites currently where individuals can have their taxes prepared by volunteers. And as you can see from the numbers here, the average adjusted gross income in that very last column is $17,014. And so what that basically tells us is that we are reaching those individuals who do have limited income and limited resources and providing a service to them. And as you can see, for the federal refunds, that's $9.9 million in refunds that has come back into our communities. So this is a very important and a vital service to the community and for those individuals that need this particular service. Here we have code enforcement activities. And when we talk about code enforcement, this has to do, of course, with housing complaints, with public nuisance violations, which includes weeds and grass and trash, those types of things. But we see how the blighting influences can weaken neighborhoods when we have properties that have not been maintained. And I wanted to actually show, though, this is the property where the owner has gone in and renovated the property. And so now it is decent, safe, and can be rented, as affordable housing. And it gives the community a revitalized, I will say, feel, so to speak, because now you have a property that was a blighting condition and is now, decent, safe, and affordable, and a very nice property for someone to rent. And then this is another one, just to give you an idea again. We do have property owners that will come in and make repairs to those properties. And this is what the property looks like now. So we're very thankful to the property owners that do come in make those repairs. And we have investors and folks that work with our staff to help bring these properties back online so that they can be provided. We have a shortage of affordable housing, and so these are much needed properties within our communities. And as I mentioned, we support community gardens, and through the use of vacant land for our community gardens, these are on some of them are on city-owned lots, and so we do work with nonprofit agencies and neighborhood associations in support of community gardens. For affordable housing activities, as I've mentioned, we do the housing repairs as well as some new construction. So you can see the picture sort of top left. That is a house that is currently under construction by one of our nonprofit agencies that will be made available for home ownership to an income eligible family, and that is in the South Side neighborhood. And then this is the repair that you see here, the bathroom. As you can see before, the homeowner was not able to use this bathroom. And through our construction training program, that bathroom was renovated. And now the property owner has a very nice bathroom that they now are able to use. Operation Inasmuch, as I mentioned before, is a one-day event. Basically, it is a day of service, and we provide free home repairs to homeowners within various neighborhoods within the core city. As you can see, the targeted neighborhoods that have been identified as areas of greatest need include the South Side, Burns Hill, Highland Mills, Macedonia Pershing Street, the Washington Street area, and West End neighborhoods. And some of these neighborhoods, we've been doing this since 2016. And we have some of these neighborhoods we've actually gone into twice now. The neighborhood that we worked with in the fall was the Macedonia Pershing Street neighborhood. And we rehabilitated 13 homes, and there were 135 volunteers that came out on that day. So this is a partnership between nonprofit organizations, the city of High Point, and volunteers. They come from churches, businesses, civic organizations, anyone that wants to volunteer on that day of service. And so we select the neighborhood and provide the funding. We work with Community Housing Solutions, who coordinates the home repairs and qualifies the individual homeowners for the service. And we also work with Housing Consultants Group. They do the community outreach, and that includes not only sending out flyers and letters, but actually going door to door. When we started this program, many individuals or homeowners, they thought that it was a scam. They were like, there's no way that anyone can come in and provide free home repairs. So now the word has gotten around, and people now know that when they get the letter or when they see the flyers, they know that it is a legitimate service that is being provided in partnership with the city and other organizations within the neighborhoods. This is an affordable housing subdivision that the city's developing in partnership with one of our nonprofit builders. And this is called the Cedro subdivision. And this will be 19 single family units that will be provided. As you can see, we have one unit here that has been completed. And there are actually 4 units complete. We have 15 more to build, which hopefully those will be done within the next, I will say, 15 to 18 months. That is our goal, but we all know what the construction industry looks like right now as far as the supply chain and a delay in getting materials. And so we are no exception to that. And so we are definitely hoping that we can bring these other 15 units online within the next year and a half or so. And this is a project that we're doing with Habitat for Humanity. It's on Cable Street. This is a unit that has recently been completed and sold. There will be, in this particular neighborhood, we are hoping to get about 12 units completed. We're still in the process of acquiring some of the additional lots and things like that. But this project is underway, and we're working with Habitat to provide this housing. Here you have our multifamily affordable housing projects. The city has partnered with a private developer to construct multifamily housing. This is for elderly as well as families. The project on the left that you see, the top left, that is a senior housing community. And then the others are available for families. And they range in size from 54 units to about 72 units in each of the complexes. And as I said, we have participated in development of 5 of these multifamily affordable housing complexes. And this is our schedule for the 2022 annual action plan. We have had one citizen participation meeting that was on this past Friday. We have the one, of course, this evening, and then we have one more that will be coming up on this Thursday. It will be at 6:30 as well. And then we have our draft plan. Once we go through the citizen participation process and receive any feedback or comments or things that we are to take under consideration as we're developing the draft annual plan, those will be included in the plan when it is distributed for a 30-day review and comment period. And the plan will be available in our office online, as well as some other locations within the city. And those will be identified, of course, in the ad, but typically it's in the library. At the public library, we provide a copy to the Housing Authority, Parks and Recreation. So just located throughout the city so that citizens can review the draft plan and provide us with any comments or feedback. Then we will present the draft plan to the Community Development Committee on April the 5th. We will take it before council for a public hearing on April the 18th, which is another opportunity for citizens to provide comments and feedback in a public setting. And we will review the plan with our Citizens Advisory Council. This is a council of individuals who are appointed by City Council. They represent each of the wards as well as those council members who are at large. And so these individuals are appointed by council to serve as liaisons for their communities. And this is the advisory council that we work with within our department. So we will be presenting that to the advisory council on April the 28th. Then we will take the plan once we've gotten comments, feedback, and have developed the what we anticipate to be the final plan. We will take it to City Council for approval on May the 2nd, and then it is due to HUD by May the 15th. So we will submit the plan on or about May the 15th. Okay, so at this point, we do want to open it up for any questions or comments. You can put those questions or comments in the chat, or if you like, just raise your hand and we will acknowledge your virtual hand, that is, and you can be acknowledged to be able to speak within the meeting. Do we have any comments or?
It's Kaisha. Michaela said, great work. It's exciting to see all that is happening in High Point.
Thank you so much, Michaela. We appreciate that. Thank you for being with us this evening. We truly appreciate it. And there's also the opportunity that if you have seen something this evening that you want more information on, or if you want to provide any comments, if you'd like to volunteer during Operation Inasmuch or anything, you can see here our office number is 336-883-3349. And you can call in to receive any additional information or provide any feedback. We certainly welcome that.
Last name Patrick has a question, hand up.
Okay. Yes. Is it in the chat or would you like to speak?
Yeah, I'm mute. Okay,
Okay.
I unmuted.
Okay.
I didn't see that at first. Thank you. I was listening to the money that you was talking about. You did the affordable housing, the public service, and then you got down to improving the houses or neighborhood. You added on, so Londonwood is officially added on, right? You didn't just do it today.
Right. In the presentation, what I did was I identified those neighborhoods that were originally part of the core city plan. Right. And right now, most of those organizations are still active. We do have a couple, but London, that's why I said London Woods is definitely a part of our
very good
footprint, part of
Okay.
our footprint. And I know that you all are working with Michelle McNair and her staff. And
Right.
yes, so
Okay.
you all are newer. You're newer to us, but that was just to give a little bit of history, I guess, as to how we started working with the neighborhood associations.
Okay, I saw that you had $425,801 million left in your public facility. Is that for the community if we wanted to improve a particular thing in the community?
Okay, that wasn't millions, that was thousands.
Oh, I thought it was million.
No, we wish it was millions, we really do. But what we have done is for that particular money, again, that was through the CARES Act. And that has to be something that is specifically related to the pandemic. And when we say public facility activities, right, that could be something, again, maybe like a day center or some type of a clinic or anything that we see where a public service, where people from the community can come in and receive a service. I'll say similar to, say, like the Macedonia Family Resource Center.
Right.
That's considered a public facility. Right. So when we look at that, and again, like I said, we have not identified a project at this point, but we would like to see those funds go into a public facility. That is what council has approved. And so we do hope that that is the direction that those funds will go.
Could that money be used in part for the homeless? Like, we got that great big building. It used to be Saunders Furniture on the corner of Centennial and Washington. That big building there. Why don't someone convert that city into housing for the homeless people or even senior citizens? I mean, why let the building just sit there? If you got 425,000, $80 million, $801 million that came back, why can't it be used for something like that? And one other question, and then I'll let you answer. You got $9,903. Well, that's million. $9,903,593 million that came back to the program. Okay, could that also be used to reconstruct, like, and I think of Brentwood, old school, some of the old building in our community? Couldn't that be turned to something more constructive rather than the eyesight that it is. It's just, I was riding around town and I was riding, up 4th Street, down Underhill, over in Burns Hill area, just riding, looking. And that happened in Greensboro, and I just wonder why something like that couldn't happen over here.
Okay, first I'll address the $9 million. That was through the Volunteer Income Tax Program, VITA. And that is not money that comes to the city. That is individual tax returns. That is the amount of money that households, when you file your taxes and you get a refund, that's how much individuals and households received in refunds.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. So basically what we're saying is that this is a service that is provided. It's a free service. However, households are getting refunds that they can, spend and put back into the community. So that's just to show the benefit of the service that's being provided through that VITA program. As far as buildings that are vacant, that have been sitting, I'll say the biggest issue is money. $425,000, I'll be honest, is a drop in the bucket when it comes to a facility like the Brentwood School. It will take millions of dollars to renovate that building, to bring it back online, as well as the building that you mentioned at the corner of Centennial and Washington Street. We are aware of all of these buildings, but it will take some partnership between the private community, private developers, private investors, to bring funds in and bring those properties online, because you do have to not only renovate them, but you have to have agencies and organizations that are willing to operate them and manage them. So we are always in discussions with developers about affordable housing. Right. We're in conversations with the county. It may be looking at some of our existing buildings to see if there is something that we might be able to partner in and bring something, I'll just, like you said, like the Brentwood School, to bring something like that back online so that it can be used for whether it be homeless services, housing, or whatever. So we definitely have been discussing those things, but at the end of the day, it truly boils down to the dollars, and just not having, our department can't do it alone. We don't receive enough funding to do that. So it would take partnership from the city, from city council, and from other agencies, organizations, and private developers to bring those types of things to renovate them and rebuild them.
I'm going to say this, but you don't have to answer it now. You can ponder it. We have many skilled people that walk the street that's not employed. I know of one in particular. I will not call his name, but he's a licensed electrician, and he can't find a job because he was caught with drug in his car and he got sent away, and now he's back and trying to re-enter society. But I won't go into that because I want to ask you one last question. I saw the flyer on In As Much. I thought it was a mistake when it was in my box. I would like very much to try and get in touch with them again. I did not keep the flyer, but I would like very much to get in touch with them. I have something about my house, my home, that I would like help with that I can't do. So would you text me that phone number or tell me the phone number?
If you, let's see.
I can call Michelle.
Yes, if you would, that would actually be the best thing to do. Or you can call just our office, 336.
Office.
Yeah, our office, 336-883-3349, and we can give you that information directly.
Thank you much.
So either that number, or if you want to reach out to Michelle, either way, you can get the information.
Okay, Nina, we have a comment from Heather McGill. She said, we are seeing a lot of need for older adults needing safe and affordable housing. I know public housing for older adults is a very long wait list. I hope we can continue expanding those resources for the rapidly aging population. You all are doing some great work.
Thank you, Heather. We do appreciate that. And one of the things that I will say is, if you noticed in the multifamily housing slide, there was a senior community that was built. There actually is another senior community that is under construction right now on Samet Drive. It's called Abbey Crossing by that same developer. So that is being built right now. And I want to say, I think that's 48 units. And then this developer also has proposed at least 2 more communities for seniors. He's working on those applications from what I understand. So we do hope that those projects can move forward, will be approved, and we can bring more senior housing, more affordable senior housing to our community.
Heather said, great news.
Good deal. Any other comments or questions? Okay, well, if not, that will conclude our meeting for tonight. And again, we thank you for joining us. We thank you for the feedback, for the questions. We truly just appreciate your participation.